Unit 5 today, and we are going to look at your discrete probabilities. So let me just do that. So in the discrete probability, basically we're going to look at three things. So we're going to look at your discrete probability when I give that to you as a question. We will look at binomial distributions, and then we will look at Poisson distribution. So also I think what is important for you guys to already know for the exams is you normally get about 2 questions per study unit. But if you look now at this study unit, more likely that you will get a question on discrete, on binomial, and on Poisson. So you can nearly already know that in the exam you will get a question on each one of these. Okay, so let's look and define some of these probabilities for you guys. And then we will go into like we usually go into a few different questions and things like that. So like we discussed last week, and the same will happen again in the session today and going forward. When you look at probability and probability function, it's always, if you add all the probabilities together, you will get 1, and your probabilities are anything between and including 0 to 1. So I'll show you on the binomial distribution table. I'll show you on the Poisson distribution table how all of those always will add to 1. And then, as last time, what I've included is just again this for you guys, because from this study unit on, we will see a lot that they use words in the questions, and sometimes, yeah, like I said last week as well, English not my first language, so very easy to struggle with things like less than or equal, at most, at least. So for me, just easier to put this graph or table in, so that one can see when one needs to use it. And I will probably copy it over to questions when we need to use it in any case. Okay, so when we look at the probabilities of discrete, binomial, and Poisson, and you will find this in your study guides as well. There's a few things that you need to be able to do. So with binomial, there might be sometimes that we will use the probability function, but not to work out each probability and things like that. For that, we will use the table, but sometimes they do put this into more a theoretical question. So again, if I don't have it in today's session, I will definitely add something into our prep for your assignment, and the same with the Poisson distribution. Then if you look at how to work out the expected value and the variance for binomial and Poisson, actually very easy. You will get in your binomial, it will be the pi that I'll I'll show you later on in a question, times n, which is your sample size to get the expected. In your Poisson, your lambda is going to be your expected and your variance. So that is nearly for binomial and Poisson. And then if we look at the discrete probability, a bit more difficult. But again, I will show you guys in an example. We will work out the mean and the variance if needed. Okay, so that is nearly a summary of the study unit, is that you need to know discrete, binomial, Poisson, need to know what you're going to use it for, and then need to know how we will use the formula, and then how to work out the mean and the standard deviation, or mean and variance. Okay, so it's always easier to use examples for this one than to look at it from just a pure definition point of view. So in this example, they give us a question that we need to basically say which one of these following is valid probability distributions. Okay, so things that will make it valid is that if you look at each individual probability, it can be anything from, and let's just make this a big, it can be anything from a 0 to a 1. And then if one adds all of that, so the sum of the probabilities must equal to 1. So remember, that is what we got from our two definitions. Let me just see if I can just quickly. Okay, so that's what we got from our two definitions, is from 0 to 1, and the total sum must be equal to 1. So if we look at these, and let's just look at the first one, I'm going to leave for last because there's too many at the moment to just add. So let's end with the decimals. No problem. We are recording this session as well. So I will add the recording onto our WhatsApp group and onto the MyUNISA platform early this morning after the session as well, for the guys that have power problems, network problems, and all those kind of things. Okay, so we need to look at it, and for this one specifically, want to see which ones add up to 1. Okay, so easier one for me is to look at this one. 0.1 plus 0.3 is 0.4, plus that is 0.8, plus that is 0.9. So we know that probabilities don't add to 1. So that is an incorrect one. Okay, 0.01, there's 3 of them, plus that gives us 0.01, close to 1, but a bit more than 1, so also incorrect. Let's look at this one. So here we have 0.46, plus that will give you 0.5. Those two together will give you 0.49. So that will give you 0.99. Again, very close to 1, but still not 1. Okay, so we're left with option 1 and option 5. So let's quickly check here. That is 0.15 plus that, so it's 0.4. That's plus that is 0.9, plus that is 1.2. So again, not that one, so must be number 1, but let's just add. Okay, that, those two together is 0.52. Wait, let me get my calculator. I'm worried that that is also wrong.
It's 1, Seth.
Is it 1? Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
Seth.
So awesome. Let me just do the calc because I was now worried. Cool. Okay, so if you add all of those together, it's equal to 1. So number 1 is the correct one. Okay, so this is just to show you guys how you can be asked to verify that a formula or a distribution is correct. So it just again shows you that the sum of the probabilities need to be equal to 1. Okay, so let's go into the next one. Okay, so now here they give us the discrete probability. They tell us at 0 it's this, at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4. So they tell us at each of those x's what is the probability, and then they ask us a few questions around it. So the things that they will normally ask you is to work out the probabilities. They will throw in that mean that you need to work out. Sometimes they ask you to work out the variance as well. So to work out the mean is for nearly the most work. So again, I'll leave that one for last. So let's check these ones. So x smaller or equal to 2. So smaller or equal to 2 is everything smaller than equal to 2. So if we look at it, 0.5 plus 0.2 is 0.7. So that should be 0.8. We are unfortunately looking for the correct one. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. And how easy that is to make that mistake. Bigger or equal to 2. Sure, okay. Bigger or equal to 2, not smaller or equal to, bigger or equal to 2. So it is 0.5 plus 0.15 plus 0.05. Okay, still wrong because it's 0.7. Okay. Then the second one, they ask us smaller or equal to 1. Smaller or equal to 1, it includes 1. So that's 0.1 plus 0.3. 0.1 plus 0.2 gives us 0.3, which is also incorrect. Here, that 0.1 was, if it was smaller than 1, then it would have been 0.1, but it's smaller or equal to, so we need to include that option of 1 as well. Okay, let's skip question or option 3 for now. Let's go and look at smaller or equal to 4, but bigger than 1. So not including 1, bigger than 1. And look how interesting that is. So that is correct. But look at those two are exactly the same. So if we set x bigger or equal to 2, or if we used the fourth one, you get exactly the same answer. So just showing again to you guys, there's different ways of asking a question that actually give you the same outcome. And then let's just look at that last one. So smaller than 4, so it does not include 4. So smaller than 4, bigger than 2 does not include 2. So actually, that could have been set also something like the x equal to 3. Okay, so that would have been exactly the same way of asking that question, and that is 0.15. Okay, so you can also see that one is wrong. So option 3 is going to be wrong, but let's quickly do it for you guys so that we can just that you know how to do it if we get it somewhere. Let me I just want to copy that, because what I normally would do in a question like this, let's make it let's first move it, and then we can work with it. Okay, so what I will normally do is just write it down somewhere, because again, unfortunately, you guys don't have it as paper-based anymore. And then I will just, for working out the EX or the mean, what you need to do is to say the X times the probability of X, and then we need to sum all of them. So for me, normally what I will do, I will just say, okay, the 0 times, why did that now disappear? The 0 times the 0.1 is 0. 1 times 0.2 is 0.2. 2 times 0.5 is 1. 3 times 0.15 is 0.45. 4 times 0.05 is 0.2. And if we add those together, we get 1,85, and not 18.5, but 1,85. So again, just showing you guys, for me, that's sometimes also just easier to write it instead of now working out on a different way, or I just write it with a table, so that one can easily get to that. Okay, so that is why option 3 is also wrong. So with the discrete questions in the study unit, very clear, you will get this table, and then they ask you a few things around it. There will always be probability. There might be expected, and there might be that you also will get a variance question around it. But normally it will work out that you don't need to work out, especially in the exam, because of saving time and things like that, that it will most likely be one of the probabilities. Okay, so again, the same type of question. We get the distribution over the discrete distribution, and then they ask us in this one, work out what is the mean expected value. Okay, so now it's not about any of the probabilities that you need to work out. So this one again, I will just say, let's look at it, multiply it out and see what we get. At the moment, if I look at these answers, I really don't have an idea which one I will nearly cancel out. Sometimes you get a feel of the data, but this one, not a clue. So let's just see. With a probability that 0 is so big, will probably be one of the smaller ones. But let's see. So 0 times that is 0. 1 times that is 0.2. 2 times that, also 0.2. 3 times that is 0.15. 4 times that is 0.12. 5 times that is 0.05. And 6 times that is 0.06. Okay, so again, going to add those up. So 0.06 plus 0.05 plus 0.1. Okay, so if we all add up all of those, we get option 3, that is 0.78. Okay, so this one, purely working out the expected value. So just follow that formula of the sum of x I times the probability of xi. So that would be the formula that we will use for that. You can, if you want to, do it in Excel, but then it's a manual process. Excel does not have a function of working out this for discrete probabilities or things like that. So then you need to put it in and manually work it out like we have done here. So Excel probably not going to make your life very much simpler in this instance. Okay, so now the same. So on probability distribution, so again, discrete. Here they give us the mean, and then they want us now to work out the variance. So this one is a bit longer if you work it out on paper. So let's just write down first what the formula will be for this. So, and again, if you look at, we've got the formula here. So you need to look at your probability. So let's So you need to say 1, which is that one, minus your mean. Let's just check, make 100% sure. As for others that we will see in normal distribution and going forward as well, and what we've seen in study unit 3, how to work out the variance. There is to the power of 2, and that you will multiply by the probability. And then you need to do that for all of them up until the 5. So this is something that I am quickly going to put into Excel just because I don't have another calculator. My cell phone's normal calculator is not going to be of real value for this one. So let's open Excel. Again, there's not a function in Excel to do it, so we will need to just type it in as normal, and then we will work it out. So let's do that. So my Excel is also my calculator. I don't really work with a financial calculator anymore. Okay, so we said first we're gonna take that 1. Okay, I must add the mean, so we're gonna add the mean there. That is to the power of 2. So let's just add the mean. And I will share this with you guys in any case so that you can use it. And that mean, I'm just going to freeze it so that we carry it over. Okay, so that is just that first component. So we still have not multiplied it by the probability. So that at the moment is just this function. So we have not multiplied it by the probability yet. So now we're going to multiply it by the probability. Bigger for you guys to see. So there is for all 5 of them, and then we will just add it together. And then hopefully we get one of the answers there. So let's just check. They said, I don't know why my screen is jumping all of the time, but let's just, and 4 decimals, so we will change it up to 4 decimals again. Okay, 1,6494, 1,64, sorry, 1,6496, 1,6496. So it is option 1. Okay, you can see there is some of it that is very close. So if somewhere one did a small mistake, it might come through. Let me just save this because I'm worried that my PowerPoint might crash. Okay, so a question like question 5 is, it will take you some time. So again, how I normally do it, if I don't have Excel, I would have done it like we've done here. So I would just say 1 minus, get that answer, do it for all 5 of them, and then do the sum of it. Okay, so, but yeah, the one calculator I have on my phone is definitely going to take ages to do this. Okay, so basically on the discrete, we've now done where we identify the probabilities. We've done one where we work out the mean, and we've done one where you need to work out the variance. So that's basically what you will be needed to do in the exam. They will not ask you all 3 in the exam. So in your assignment, that is your next assignment, study, or assignment 2 is on study unit 4 and 5. So there they might ask you, because again, it will be 10, 11 questions, normally 10 questions. So study unit 4 will be about 4, 5 questions. Study unit 5 will be 4, 5 questions. So they might in assignment 2 ask a bit more detail on this. Okay, so let's go into binomial. So binomial distribution, I don't think we've mentioned it up front, is basically where there's 2 outcomes. So whatever, so if you throw a coin, it's heads or tails. So 2 outcomes. Will it rain today? Yes or no? 2 outcomes. So if you look at more into the production of things, is a light bulb working or not? What's the likelihood of it breaking or not? So those kind of things are all binomial distribution. So is it going to be the one, or is it going to be the other one? So they can ask you a binomial question on 2 different ways. They can tell you, as we are going to look at this one, given a binomial random variable, then they say it straight to you, okay, we're working with a binomial distribution. And then they tell us in this question specifically, we're working with n, which is 6. So I'm looking here, it's n, so n 6. And they tell us that pi, or the likelihood score, is 0.2. So we are going to look at this component here in the corner where it is n6 and 0.2. What you can do, but I wanted to show it here where it is just fewer numbers. If you add those 3 together, you will get 1. Okay, so getting back to that, the sum of probabilities equal to 1. So if you add all of these ones together where n is 6 at 0.2, you will also get 1. So each time in these tables, all those probabilities will always add to 1, the sum of those probabilities. Just linking back to that original where we said the sum of probabilities is equal to 1, I will show it to you in the Poisson distribution tables, exactly the same. Okay, so let's look at the things that they give us here. And again, I want to use the different colors. So where n is 6, we've already identified that pi is 0.2. We want to look at where x is equal to 2. So there's x equal to 2. So the probability, and let's maybe get a lighter color. Probability is 0.2458, 0.2458, which is correct, but we're looking for the incorrect one. Okay, so let's, where x is equal to 5, there's 5, so we need to go across. x5 is 0.0015. Okay. So that one is the wrong one. It's not 0.0005. It must be 0.0015. Okay, so we've identified the wrong one, but I want to show you all of them. Small or equal to 1. So small or equal to 1 is 0 and 1. So if we add those two together, it's 3, it's 5, it's 5, 6. So that is correct. Then we look at x bigger or equal to 5. So bigger or equal to 5 is 5 and 6. So it's basically those two. And that is 0.0016, which is also correct. And then just the last one, if we need to work out the mean with the binomial distribution, we don't need to use that massive formula. All that we need to do is to say it's n times p. So in this instance, it was 6 times 0.2, which is equal to 1.2. And so also the correct one. So in this one, they basically have asked us to work out some of the probabilities. They've asked us to look at the mean, but you can get everything from that binomial table, and that's why they also said a hint. And just check when you guys are also doing your assignments, they might give you those hints as well, that you now don't need to go to the binomial formula, because again, for something like this, it really will take you long to do that. Okay, so let's look at this one. So here the question is, a certain type of tomato seed germinates 90% of the time. A backyard farmer planted 25 seeds. The expected number of seeds that will germinate. Okay, so basically, how many of the seeds will come up as plants? So we need to work out the variance. So we know that again, this is a binomial distribution. They don't tell it to us, but or it will germinate or it will not. So all the plant will come up or not. So two outcomes. There is no time involved. So when we bring time in, it will become a Poisson distribution. So if this was something that they said happens over a day, over 2 weeks, or something like that, then you bring in the Poisson distribution, but it's not. So this is just work out the mean. The mean is n times p. N is 25. P is 0.9. So if we work that out, it is 22.5, which is the mean. So again, don't need to look at all those other questions and things like that. It is just straight. The mean is n times p, and we get that answer. Okay, so let's see if there's another one on Poisson, on binomial. So this was another one on binomial. Let me just get that table right. Make that a bit bigger. Okay, so again, they don't tell us here it is binomial, but let's see what they tell us. Suppose that 10% of butterflies have damaged wings. So if 10% have damaged wings, there's 90% that does not have damaged wings. So just again so binomial because it happens or it doesn't happen. Also just nearly be on the lookout in questions where they ask you, but now said to you, we're looking at damaged wings. Sometimes they might ask you the ones that does not have damaged wings, so that you also again know 10%. If 10% is damaged, what's what? The rest is 90%. Okay, so sometimes they do that. So just be very careful again when you guys answer some of these questions. So let's look at what they are. Suppose that 10% of butterflies have damaged wings. If a random sample of n is equal to 10, n equal to 10, so we've got the n equal to 10. What is the probability that more than 4? Okay, so more than 4. So more than 4, more than. Okay, so definitely something wrong with my PowerPoint. I will later on restart. So probability more than 4. So basically 5 and up. So let's just highlight that. N10 was 10%, but then more than 4. So basically those three that we need to add together. So 0,015, 0,0001, and then all just zeros. So that is 0,0016. If we add those together, which is option 3. Okay, so if we did the smaller than, so if you had maybe said smaller than 5, you would have added all of those from 0 to 4, which would have given you option 5. So again, I think that's why I like this table, and let me just copy it in for you guys as well in this question, because it just, I know it makes my life just also much simpler if you know what the words are in nearly in the format that we know, and working with much easier. Okay, so let's look at the next question. So here we're moving over to Poisson distributions. So again, they most likely with Poisson will tell you, but if I don't tell you, the important thing with Poisson distribution is you get a time. So per day, per minute, per week, per month. So the one thing that's different from the difference between Poisson and binomial distribution is that there is a timing factor that comes in. Okay, so here they tell us calculate the probability that 3 bank robberies occur in a day where the number of bank robberies that occur in a larger city is distributed with a mean of that equal to 1.8. Okay, so here we've got the 1.8. They ask us exactly 3. So what's the probability that there will be 3 bank robberies? They didn't say more than 3, less than 3. So just on the dot, we need to work out for 3. Okay, so we've got the lambda, that's 1.8. The 3, we're looking at 0.1607, 0.1607. Okay, so that is how we will work it out. So exact for this is, so look at the others. So there's 1, so I don't know how we would have gotten to 1. There is 0. If you start adding things together, you will get the others as well. Okay. Again, just to, if you have time at this stage, if you add all of those together, it will add again to 1. So all the probabilities in this table, if you add all of these together, that will again be equal to 1. So just if rather pick a table that's smaller, so look at where x might be 3 or 4, then you will see that if you add those ones together, you will get that it is equal to 1 again. Okay, so 2 more. So I've included already here the table that we need to look at. So again, they tell us Poisson. Then they say, suppose the faults occur at an average of 2.5 per month. So again, you guys can see we bring in that timing aspect. So we've got 2.5. And then they ask us, what's the probability that at least, so basically 0 and 1 in this instance. So what's the probability, or not 0 and 1, what's the probability of at least? Okay, so now we can do this two ways. You can see we need to look at the probabilities of 2 and more. So you can add all of those probabilities together. You will get your answer. Or you can say, but hang on, I know everything is equal to 1. So if I say 1 minus the probability where it was 0, and where it was 0.2052, that will give me my answer. Okay, so instead of adding all of that together, because very easy to make a calculation error there, but also you can test it, you can look at what your answer will be, but I would rather then say 1 minus those two, just 1 minus 0.0821 minus 0.2052, and that will give us 0.7127. So if you add all of those together, you will get the same answer. Okay, so just again a different way of looking at it. And then the last one on Poisson, a bit extra things included. So let's look at these ones. So let's first do a few. So Poisson, where it is 6, so we're going to look at that. Where it is 100% equal to 0, 0.0025, correct. Okay, we'll skip the variance. We'll get to a variance now. Let's just x smaller than 3. So x smaller than 3 is 2, 1, and 0. So if you add all of those together, it will give you 0.062. Let's just get x bigger than 5. So x bigger than 5, sure, so it's from 6. Okay, that's a lot. So you can add all of those together, or you can say 1 minus those components. So if you do that, let's just add those. 0.6, that will be 0.29, 39, 49. If I add those. Okay, so that will actually also be correct. Let's just look at that last one. So, and then we'll go back to the variance. Smaller than 5, so it does not include 5. Bigger than 2, so it does not include 2. So it is basically 4 and 3. And so let's just see, that is 4 and 3. If you add those two together, why does it seem like that is also wrong? 0.0892 plus 0.1339. I get, please just check for me, I get 0.2231. Just so it's smaller than 5, so it does not include 5. Okay, very interesting. So that must be 3 and 4. So that one for me is wrong. I think that should have probably read yeah, so there's definitely a mistake in that one. So if you get this in the exam or in your assignments, again, just let me know, because that variance is also wrong. So when we look at Poisson, and we can go back to that original Poisson, your mean and your variance is exactly the same as the lambda. So your mean will be equal to 6 and your variance will be equal to 6. So in this one, we actually now have 2 that is wrong. Okay, so not great that they make this mistake. And I can't really see why, because if you add it as bigger or equal to 2, that would in any case then be something different as well. So definitely in this one, 2 mistakes. So please, again, if something like this happens in the assignment, you let me know. If it happens later in the end of the year in the exam, you will also please let me know, because then one can. So if something like this happens in the assignment or in the exam, they normally just take away the question, so that you don't get penalized because you didn't know now which one to go for. So it will just normally be removed out of the question set. Okay, guys, so that is nearly, so you would now have seen what we did this morning is we looked at working out basically, and let's go back to, we worked out the probabilities, to do that with the binomial, the discrete, and the Poisson. And then we looked at, for each of them, if we needed to work out the expected value, or if we needed to work out the variance, how to do that. Once again, the variance and the expected value for your binomial and Poisson is actually very easy in a sense, because you will get all of that information. Where it does become a bit more tricky is when it is the discrete one, where we nearly need to work it out, like we would have close enough to where we were in study unit 3, just with a bit of a difference, but it does take time. So when we look at the discrete variable, it does take a bit more time to work out the mean and the variance. Okay, so I will share the recording on our WhatsApp group. I will share the presentation on our WhatsApp group today. I will also, it will be on our My UNISA platform, will be loaded later today. And if there's any one of you that is still not on the WhatsApp group and want to join, it is in the chat at the moment, but also if you guys might be watching it later on, and you can then send me a WhatsApp on 0837908387, or just send me the email. Okay. Thanks everyone. Have a lovely day, and our next session probably again next Saturday, but it might also be in the week, so I will let you guys know, so that we do. The next session will be a recap of study unit 4 and 5, so it's a prep for your assignment 2, and then it will also be available, or what we will do is after that, we will go back to study unit 1 to 3 and just do look at your assignment and just work through that assignment. Okay, awesome everyone. Have a great weekend and see you again soon. Cheers everyone.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you very much.
Cool,
Thank you,
thanks,
sir.
guys. Thank you.
Bye.